Hello, friends. That music is from the Heartbound official soundtrack. I like it a lot. The game is by Pirate Software. The composer is Stein van Wakeren? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I only know how to pronounce the first name because Thor from Pirate Software says it. We're gonna get into some stuff with Abdul. See if we can find some nitro today. It's probably unlikely. I don't anticipate anybody being around here for a while. There's only about 70 people online at the moment. What do we have? That's terrible. That's also not great. Sheesh. Okay. Whistle at the horse. Let me see. I know. I think maybe there's one here. We're just gonna go around and check random buildings where I suspect there might be. I have in my head, I know the one in Emerald, and there's one north of Cattail, but I don't know where Cattail is. I'm gonna check just a couple of the bounty boards. For these, and hopefully find some stuff that's actually like not hard to do. It'd be wild to find one that's like, hey, do moonshine and we'll give you nitro. I don't need nitro. I just want to actually get it because dynamite goes for a fair amount of money. It seems to be in relatively short supply recently, and it would be cool to actually like, hey, you know, I know how to do it if people can get me nitro. It's exactly what I thought it was. Yay! What does this say? Beware of Shacky. Oh, there was a bear. Okay. Great. Crates of moonshine. Kill cats. That's a wonderful one. Jeez. Where's Adler? Oh, way, way up there. My goodness. No wonder it's $120. Okay. But it's only 5, so it's not hard to do. I need corn or wheat. We're just going to do the potato root because we only need 3 of those. Kind of sucks to have to go all the way to Adler for it. Oh, wolves. I don't see any wolves. I'm okay if there's not actually wolves. I didn't bounce off the door this time. Somebody's horse is now here. Who is it? Is it somebody that keeps MASH? 3. I need 2 more. Somebody's clearly been here and built a fire. I did not do it. And then called a horse. He basically probably told his horse to get out of here. I need 1 more. I gotta do the Coulter trip in my my adventuring gear. There's 5. Cool. Piece of junk. Oh, because I need to put the shovel away. Go into the room. Info and storage. Have that. Change the outfit. We're gonna go to Blackwater. Right here, we might. No, we'll keep this horse. kind of hope none of Waggy's crew are around. But also the story possibilities of, yeah, I live in Thieves. I know some of the people that you're at war with. I'm not aligned, though. It's pretty interesting, potentially. This is a spooky area. The less time I have to spend here, the better. Oh. I'm already at Coulter. Cool. I don't have to go anywhere near the town, actually. That's nice. Now we're blind. The way the snow drifts up here is kind of freaky sometimes. Doesn't like that. So is this where Firebird died? Or got arrested? Oh. Looks like it could be. Man. Spooky. Is that just a hole in the floor? Yeah. Nothing down there at all. Alrighty. Back on the horse. And I'm gonna hit the board on the way through just to see if there's anything. Just follow my own footprints out. Whoa. What the heck? Thing just kind of ended. I did not like that. I'm fairly sure there's a doctor's office in Coulter. We can grab some bandages. Ditch the horse here. Yeah. It's up on the main drag on the right. Check this. Adler Ranch chopped wood, peach cobbler, ice, milk to Adler. Nah. Planks. There is definitely somebody. Is this it? This is not it. It's the next one. But they're just going, so that's fine. This one's not it. There is a general store here. I think it's this one. No, the one next door. Yep. I'm gonna get an apple and feed it to my horse. And we're gonna go to Valentine. Thank you, Tutuman, and same to you. you for the follow. Yeah, there's a couple of. I am myself not Arabic. The character that I'm playing is by blood Egyptian, but grew up in England. But he sort of plays it off as though he is Arabic/Egyptian. I know bits and pieces of specifically the Arabic accent, or specifically the Egyptian accent that I can throw in there. There's another person, Jackal, that also follows my channel, who actually is Egyptian, who was giving me some pointers. This is my pronunciation of stuff is horrible, but he actually has an Arabic character. Yeah, you should. It's kind of an interesting thing because like a lot of the people are like, oh, I've never met an Egyptian before. And they still kind of haven't, but the ability to kind of pull some pieces of the accent out are great. I'll probably lean into it. I lean into it more heavily on certain words. I haven't had much of a reason to say stop, but I know the Egyptian tendency to swap B with P, so it's more stupid. Yeah, Ottoman or Albanian. Yeah, Albanian. Wouldn't it be? I just actually not one that I know. Yeah, and then the other one that I had seen is the tendency to take a D or a DR to a Z. So Zont or children. I'm just rolling R's and throwing in Assalamu alaikum occasionally. I don't have much knowledge of it. And Jackal that was in here before was actually like, okay. Cool. Yeah, I have already learned things. The name of this character is actually taken from a character that I used in Dungeons and Dragons for a while. And then later used in Pathfinder as well. And Jackal actually already pointed out, well, the naming is right. You would actually probably like smash things together. Oh, fun. Browser. That is fun. Yeah, you just delete THs and turn them into Zs. My usual defense of it is like once people actually get to know the character, he'll pull out his British accent and be like, well, I'm not actually really Egyptian. I'm sorry to sort of ruin that for you, but kind of so I don't have to spend too much time. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that play Wild who play Scottish or Irish or English, and then there's a lot of folk from there who play more American characters, and the front door thing is to just do a Western accent, and I was like, well, let's do something even more interesting where it's a character that's from an area of the world that actually still would have had a conflict, because of course the rules for Wild is there's no conflicts historically that have happened because of racism or sexism or anything like that. So looking historically at Egypt, this is the time period, of course, where the Veiled Protectorate is a thing, which, according to everything I've read, is more financially driven. It's the Ottoman Empire in Egypt and Britain in Egypt. And just kind of was like, what would happen if there was an Egyptian character whose father, whose parents basically were refugees to England, and then he winds up going back for a time, and gets essentially chased out. And Ottoman is more Turkish? Is that right? No, I've never heard of Hajali or Hajali. But this is part of what I enjoy though. So I have a degree in culture studies, and I play Pathfinder once a week. Ooh, okay. So yeah, so that's cool. I need to look up this person. Also known as Philip Tedro. Oh, that's super cool. It's from Smyrna. That's awesome. Yeah, so I have a degree in culture studies, and one of the really cool things that I've run into is like a couple of people like you who actually are Egyptian are like, oh, hey, it's really cool to see some representation in a game that is normally, you know, the West is, what is that? You know, the West had a lot of different folks in it. Like, apparently a lot of cowboys were African American or black, depending on, I don't know what the linguistic parlance might have been at the time, or Mexican, or probably native, and like indigenous, and I don't know. I figure there would have to be some Arabs as well, and it's more of a fun musical kind of sounding accent where you're trying to roll R's. Yeah, I guess, but there's weirdness when you're like, well, they're probably ex-slaves mostly. Boiled potatoes to the Valentine Church. That's not worth it. So I don't know, there's some, and I think Afro-American, even like that terminology really starts popping up because of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. So that's more 60s-ish. With the civil rights movement in the U.S. Most Arabs in the States probably wouldn't have been outlaws. Yeah. I think, and that's part of why I've sort of oriented this character differently. The jackal that I was talking to before has like pointed out like, oh, you're running. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. This one, and then my other two, the stable's way back there, I would just show you. I'm going to go over towards Emerald because of this. Is it that one? Is it this one? I think it's actually this one. I also have a Scheherazade, the famous teller of the Tales of the Arabian Nights, or the 1001 Arabian Nights, however you phrase that, and then one that just named after something there. You might appreciate the rifle's name is Al-Sakr, which is from Jackal. That's fun. Yeah, so Eagle, or I think he said it was the Falcon, maybe, and the Eagle was a different name. I don't really know. I don't speak Arabic. I think it looks really cool, and I love that it's read differently from English. I think. Yeah, I mean they're pretty similar. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. But Jackal was correcting the way that I was even saying Abdul-Qadir. because I've never necessarily heard it aside from looking up things, and I'm just reading it. I'm like, oh yeah, Abdul-Qadir or something along those lines, and then often writing it out with Al-Qadir, and then he's like, well, it would all be kind of one thing, Abdul-Qadir. And I finally looked it up and was like, oh yeah, you're right. Let me try and do that actually more accurately. Part of the hope is to maybe eventually run into his character Suleiman. Yeah, they just all pronounce it differently. Yeah, that was something he was saying too. But we were just having fun because he actually is allow listed. Jackal is allow listed and has a couple different characters. One of them is an old desert rebel who's just Arabic. He's not Egyptian. Abdul-Qadir. See, that's fun. It's weird. Like it's weird for Westerners, I think, because a lot of the times we just try to find the through line. So like English and American English are very similar, even though we pronounce some words differently. But like names are just kind of the same straight across. So if I can give you a piece of advice, don't even try to do lawman. Just come in as a civilian and just learn how things work. Abdul is actually technically my second character. I have a first character named Robert Norton Moody. And Moody I've sort of shoved onto a back burner because I think Moody could either be a lawman or a member of the Saints Crossing Medical Department. This is the wrong building. And a lot of what you want to do actually when you just come in is, it might be this one or maybe that one. Just like take it slow and learn how the server kind of works. Yeah, I think you can, because there's a separate application process for law that I haven't even started to look at yet because I'm newish enough myself that I kind of don't want to figure it out just yet. And don't get me wrong, there's some great characters in here, but the last thing I would want to do is come in never having played before, going, okay, I want to play law. I don't know any of the characters here. I don't know the world. Because law requires you to have a fairly high degree of knowledge about where stuff is. Rangers are kind of the same way. That's 15, sheesh. 89, nope. Nope. Crates, nope. Nah. Nothing good. But if you have, like, if you play civilian, you have room to kind of get to know people, sort of start to learn how things go, where stuff is, etc. I don't know if you've played a lot of Red Dead Redemption. I did play a fair amount and then stopped playing for a really long time. And just kind of don't remember where anything is now that I'm coming back to things. Yeah. Like we rode through somewhere yesterday, Hades, who's another character, and it was like Horseshoe Overlook. It's like one of the original, or maybe it was 2 days ago when I was by myself. Yeah. Do you know? Yeah, for sure. Do you know? This is. We'll quiz you. And this is actually more also for me because I don't remember where the other job board is. Do you know the spot where Arthur has a shootout with a bunch of bandits and there's a cabin kind of like this one, and then like a big field of a couple of tents and like a wagon or two. I assume it's Lemoyne somewhere, but I don't know. Maybe, no, it's not there. It's Southfield. I'm also trying to remember where. Maybe. I feel like it. I'm also trying to remember. Oh, maybe it's here. That could be it. There's another place that I'm trying to remember. Where is Cattail? Cattail Pond. Fortunately, a lot of the ponds are actually labeled. Oh, Cattail right there. Yeah, so there's a board right there too that I can check. So he's, I don't remember why he's there, but he's meeting with some people, and then there's a big gunfight out back. It might even be like the Emerald, or not Emerald, the people that hang out at Pronghorn. I don't remember. I'm so fuzzy on this story because it's been so long since I played. Basically, I got to the point, like I played it a bunch, and in a very short period of time, up until Arthur has his thing in Saint Denis where he falls off his horse. Yeah. I think it might be here. We're gonna find out. If not, then I'm gonna try and figure out where that is. 6 Point Cabin. Yeah, I know. But I got so like mad because I really liked Arthur's character. And I should have known because he's not in Red Dead 1, and I'm gonna intentionally not ruin it for anybody that is watching who hasn't played and wants to, or is watching this later, because my videos on demand are free to watch just to kind of go back in if you want to. Throw it up in the background, whatever. Slash, I'm in the process actually of migrating them over to YouTube. But yeah, and I think I will probably go back and finish it at some point. The problem is now that I've gotten allow listed to Wild, it's not this place. Yeah, and that's where I was thinking. Okay, so we want Cumberland. Where even is Cumberland? Carnassa, Moonpool, Grizzlies, Roanoke, blah, 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 Cumberland Forest. Oh yeah, this one. Right? Right there? Yeah. John, you can really pick on John too in that game. I think that's exactly where I need to be. I'm still figuring, like, I need to actually like print out a copy of the actual map and like throw it up on the wall behind one of my monitors. That just has like the boards that are specific to more criminal activities marked. I'm basically going around right now trying to find nitro. If I can find a nitro job, I'm gonna take it and then get somebody to help me do it. Because nitro you can use to make dynamite. No, I mean, I still probably will. Just because, like, even though my overlay has something over top of my compass, and the compass is really simplistic. So I came here on purpose. I'm just going to show you the names of my other horses real fast, because I think you'll enjoy them. I still appreciate sometimes being able to go, hey, how do I get to this thing? Mark it on my map, and then I at least have an arrow pointing me where I'm going. So I have Scheherazade, I have Khufu, and I have Salahuddin, I think is what I was told is the proper pronunciation. Just fancy Arab names. Although Khufu, I think, just means like command or powerful. Is Kufu a modern Salah Eldin? Okay. And it's gonna show up over there, so I'm gonna go this way. You start speaking language for language. Yeah, that's fair. You do. You definitely do. I have Saladin. Yeah. So I think Abdul, this character, has maybe seen, like, he's definitely seen it written because he grew up in England. Salah or Saleh. Salah Eldin, sort of like that. So this is fun for me. I have a fairly musical ear, so picking up accents is relatively easy for me. I just have to like spend a while in the accent. But I sort of even am just sort of mimicking certain people that I've heard, and the idea for this character didn't even start from an actual Arab or even an Egyptian, really. It was actually a Persian comedian named Maz Jabrani, who is, I think he immigrated to the U.S. and then so he's got a little bit of his accent still, but he's mostly
Have you happened to see anybody on the road on your way here injured? On the
No, my friend, I did not. But I was not really looking either.
Of course. You see any riderless horses?
No, I would have remembered that.
All right. Well, I appreciate your efforts.
Sure.
Nonetheless.
Is there a way... I do not know this. I know how to send law tips and ask for medical. Is there a way to do so for ranger folk if you do see something?
You can indeed. Just write ranger in all caps.
That makes sense. I shall let you know, but I did not see anything so far.
No, right. We appreciate you. What's your name, partner?
My name is Abdul-Qadir, but my friends call me the Egyptian.
The Egyptian. Well, my name is Mac. It's nice to meet you.
Mac, nice to meet you. And your silent friend here.
Ranger Dante.
Ah, very nice to meet you, sir. Dante Malik.
We don't want to keep you too long. Get that finest person, all right?
Yes, indeed. I know Dante through my other character. Although they didn't really hang out much at all. Dante was just kind of getting his feet under him with that character, and then I guess wound up getting approved for ranger stuff. There's been a few of those where I'm like riding along and I'm like, hey, I know who that is. They don't know who this is, but I know who that is. Like the first time I was in Thieves Landing, which is where Abdul lives. Like, I have a hotel room in there stuff. There's a couple different types of Irish, for sure. But so the first time I was in Thieves Landing, I actually met Zip Quill. Zip is like sort of infamous. Not only is he one of the bigger streamers on here, BU Down is what he streams under. He's a really nice guy. Oh, Donegal? Oh, so yeah, definitely more Northern Irish. Yeah, so I met Zip my very first time. Yeah, they call him Bud. I met him the first day I was in Thieves Landing, and then I've never seen him again since. And it was literally, he walked up and was like, hey, somebody telegram me if y'all leave because Law shows up. And then he went to bed. Yes, 6 points is 100% what I was thinking of. This is, yep, this is exactly it. There's a board here. I think. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, so I actually have, a character. Wow, there's nothing. My gosh. Sheesh. 3 pigs to Thieves Landing. I just have to figure out where to get pigs from. Okay, now we're gonna go cattail. I think I'm going backwards from the way that Hades usually goes. Yeah, so I lived in Northern Ireland for 3 months. Sort of the greater Belfast area. So I have that accent in my back pocket that I'm going to pull out with a character. I have a character named George Grimold. Which I just wanted to go with alliteration for the first name, for the first names, but then also kind of have people call him Grim maybe eventually. And I don't know yet whether he's a criminal or law, which are very different. But that accent I can definitely do. We're gonna allow that one. Probably called him Patty Mc something, right? Or Patrick or Padraig. That is the fun one because Irish uses their own Bennett Fitzpatrick. Oh, okay. It's not that bad. I never met anybody named that over there. Definitely could have been worse. But of course, I lived there post the Troubles in Northern Ireland becoming a real thing and sort of being on their own and so forth. But this would have been before, actually, it's even sort of thought of as a different place. South County Cork. So my character will be from Belfast. And will probably threaten to cut people. Because that's a very Belfast thing. You lied to me again, and I will cut you. And I just like that accent. There's a lot of people with Northern Irish accents in kind of the BBC television sphere. A lot of them are news folk because the Northern Irish accent is actually, yep, it's one whole thing. And they were all part of the UK. That's probably a snake. The separation of that is really much more recent. Although they've been thought of as kind of 2 separate areas, is I think like as recently as the 1920s-ish, where Northern Ireland, it's still part of Ireland, but it's kind of thought of as like a different state a little bit. But it's not till like the 70s that you start having actual problems between Catholics and Protestants. And then real, like, talking so much I forgot where I was going. And then you have just problems between those two religious groups, because it's a weird one where it's like the religion that you are, people can tell like where you're from. Yeah. What do we have? Crates. 15. No, that is a ripoff. And then a gold bar. Yeah. I vaguely remember who that is. I think he gets shot at some point, doesn't he? Spoilers, I guess, for people that aren't ready for it, but how does he go? Because I clearly don't remember. If he just gets shot by Micah, that's terrible. I hated Micah. But I think most people were supposed to. Oh, yeah. Oof. My two favorites actually probably are Charles, the guy that's like both. He's got both black and indigenous parentage, which I think is just a cool idea for a character. And then Javier, I think is his name. Javier, who's in both the first and the second games. He's just a nice guy. And we're gonna wind up back in Thieves after this. Yeah, he goes from like a really decent dude in Red Dead 2 to like kind of weird in the first one. Yeah. So I feel like maybe the piece that they don't give you is like something happens to Javier where he's like elsewhere and you just never know what that is. Which is entirely possible with characters. So like just the development of this character is when he showed up, he was very much like, oh, I guess, yeah, I'm kind of looking for work. And in fairness to Javier, he's never really had a good relationship with John. So if you're talking like when you're actually playing John, that might make a little more sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know then. So, I mean, yeah. Some of just the character development with this character is he's super malleable because he's very young. And all that he's really learned other places is like find the people that know what's going on and like be friends with them, because sort of the backstory is he does go to Egypt for a little while to try and learn some of the culture, and when he's there I think falls in with people who realize, oh, he doesn't speak the language, he doesn't know the culture, he doesn't know how any of this works, and they use him as a fall guy. So he basically gets run out of Egypt with a bunch of people behind him. A bunch of law. Yeah, because they're basically like they arrest him for a couple murders and some robberies and a number of different things, and then they realize, oh wait, I mean, this guy looks Egyptian and his name is fairly Egyptian, but he's not from here. He doesn't even speak Arabic. There is no way this kid is the one responsible for any of that stuff. So the police are like, you're a problem. And we're not going to be able to get to the bottom of anything unless you go, because everybody's just pinning stuff on you and blaming you for things. And it's fairly evident to us that you're not necessarily involved. But while you're here, we would have to blame you for stuff because that's how everything looks. So if you just leave, they can't do that anymore, and it's business as usual. So he basically gets run out of Egypt, not by the criminal element, but by the law, and forced to go somewhere else. And doesn't want to go back to England because there's not really anything for him in England. I think his dad was sort of fell into alcohol, which I know is kind of taboo for an Arab. But I think drank himself to death trying to cope with everything that was happening in Egypt. And Abdul looks so much like his father that being around his mother just gets her sad because of how his dad died. Are they? Because, yeah, Jackal being here was nice because he kind of would give certain things. But I think there was definitely like an Islamic take. Are they? Yeah. So maybe it's not that weird that his dad would have drank himself to death, or that Abdul will run moonshine. Abdul's only gotten like really drunk once, and it was after accidentally hurting somebody. And not like, oh, I accidentally shot him. It's like I pulled a knife out to do something, and he was way too close. Yeah. Abdul smokes. That's a thing. That was a character decision I made really early on. Abdul carries around hand-rolled cigarettes. He doesn't like the premium-made ones. And will actually like hand off cigarettes to other people too. Cigarettes, cigars, etc. Oh, dang. Literally dealing drugs. That's insane. Yeah, $20 in milk to armadillo is ridiculous. Sheesh. Features hope the pronghorn is a really long way. Brampton Ranch. What? I don't think I have anything from anybody. Yeah, I don't. Let me poke through here and just see. We have Hades. We have Soul. We got Pavel and Julian. I took Jack out because Jack's dead. We have Zip's on the second page with Winston. We got Jesse Gold, Quentin Huxley, and Esteban. I need to add Roger Kennedy. Yay, it's wonky. What do you mean same reasons it's present in Brazil? Is it just easy to get and everything kind of sucks, so people are like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever? I don't really know even why it would be present in Brazil. Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna put Marius in here. Yeah, they're just like, I'm just gonna do it, because why not? It's sad. G56. Go back. Oh yeah, for sure. What's your question? Oh, it's 180 for the... We're wanting to Egyptian we're going pretty much in Saudi Arabia. Oh, interesting. Yeah. My family growing up used to get a magazine that I think actually came from one of the oil companies based in Saudi Arabia, but it was all around Saudi Arabian culture and art and music and stuff, and it was really, really cool. There's a lot of really fascinating art and architecture and stuff from there that is just really awesome to look at. We're just gonna switch appearance. We got the gunfighter look, the funerary, the fancy. Yeah, I think it was Aramco, but I don't know well enough to like tell you for sure. This was the default outfit I came in with. I've kind of tried to like keep everything to red, black, white, and then some gray. But like there's some green in it as well. Yeah, right? He doesn't look like I figured out how to do it so that he doesn't look Mexican even with the mustache. And Suleiman basically said he's going to chew me out for shaving the beard at least. If he ever does meet me, which I think will be really funny. But yeah, because Egyptian look-wise, I think they seem to, at least in my Western understanding. Sell you a shawarma. I do sort of intentionally want him to be friendlier than most people might be. But like very much kind of leaned on, because there's a fair amount of stuff in here that's like, it'd be very easy to make a Mexican character, but it's a little harder, I think, to go, no, this character is from somewhere else. So his fashion sense is a little different. Yeah, Suleiman, Jackal was saying that Suleiman would chew him out for shaving. Because it would be more normal, I guess, for an Arabic character to just have a full beard. And I don't really have a defense to him for why Abdul shaves and doesn't have a beard. Yeah, 100% he is. There's a lot of law in Blackwater right now. Or at least a lot of horses of law. Let's see what I have in this bank. That's not an actual bullying term. An Egyptian actor, so it didn't have a beard yet. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the direction I was thinking with it, and a lot of the more famous figures that pop up. I have 500 in here. I have 500 also in my hotel room. A lot of the more famous guys seem to have that kind of thing going on, where they just have a mustache. I don't know if that's just an Egyptian thing or if that's, I don't know. That's just the direction I chose to go based on what I found, I guess. And I've kind of liked the direction because there's an aspect of like people just go, oh yes, the Egyptian. There's at least one guy who calls Abdul Senor the Egyptian. Oh yes, Senor the Egyptian. It just cracks me up every time. Just as like a Mexican like it's a Mexican character who mostly calls people Senor and then whatever their first name is, but because of he met Abdul as Abdul-Qadir, my friends call me the Egyptian. He's like, oh yes, Senor the Egyptian. It's just really funny to me. There's another guy that I haven't seen in a while that I miss, who's goes by the name. Sorry, I thought I heard wolves. Goes by the name Raul Dominguez. We did a crime thing real early on, and then I did something with Pavel. That would be cool. You definitely should. Wagons are expensive and work kind of funny, but you definitely should. That would be cool. Yeah, not at all. There's where I live. There's at least one. There's probably more like 3 or 4 places that do shawarma kind of stuff. One of them is really, really good, but I can't remember the name of it. It's a friend of mine who's actually from Guatemala originally, and it's just a friend of his who started a restaurant. And they do shawarma. Oh yeah. Wolves. Good. Where are they? Nope, but I believe it. Alright, where are these wolves? They're giving somebody a problem. I didn't want to get up there.
You going crazy or something?
Not on purpose, my friend. Where are those wolves? Get up on this thing. I hear him. Hello? Oh, they're on the roof. Dang it. Why are they on the roof? My friends, it is not a good day for you. Jeez. Why are they even up there? What's... Come on, horse. honestly, I'm gonna hop up here and then just use. Use the stable to despawn them and respawn them in. Throw them off the ledge. Yeah, not knowing what to do for it. There's a couple different ways of making different foods. Maybe it's just some sort of maybe it's some sort of food item that you could make. You might need spices for it though. We're gonna refill the gun belt. And then we go here. See, because this is what's gonna. This will do it real quick. Reset it. And come here, horse. What microphone do you have? That's a big one. Microphone, and then the other thing that seems to be really helpful is experience. Stadium Studio Kit mic. I hope that's a decent one. Have you had like yeah, so you have actual experience RPing. That's good. Have you actually done your interview at all? Because I know they're like, hey, you can apply again, and you've done one application. Have you had the interview yet? You got denied. Yeah, I mean, now you know. Now that you know what they're actually looking for, you'll have a much easier time next time. You'll probably be more comfortable with the actual interview as well. I was honestly surprised that I made it through on my first attempt, and I don't know why I did necessarily. It could have been the microphone. It could have been just my interviewer, Mackie, was fantastic. Yeah. Past experience is definitely a big thing. Like if you have a way to, I don't know if you stream or not, but now that you actually have experience doing stuff, you could maybe clip something together. Kind of interactions and stuff that you have actually had, and then, you know, that might be good. Mine was a couple podcast episodes and stuff. Yeah, that'll probably do it for you. So did you actually even get to the interview itself, or did they deny you even before that? Okay, yeah, so you didn't even get there. Yeah, then definitely if you can redo that part, that would be good. And then make sure you're like really up on the actual lore. Because the lore part seems to be a pretty big deal. There's no Civil War. rules for like train operators and stuff.
I ain't never gonna make it home like this.
And then really rely on, there's a support bot. So a lot of time, like the thing that I found in my interview was, if you're ever not sure about something, like rather than just straight asking the community, like just in your thinking, default to, oh, the first person I'm actually going to ask is the wild support bot. Because staff like to know that it's getting used, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could tell you why mine passed. Because I only had to do it once, and that seems like a rare thing for most people. How do you mean your thinking is wrong? No. So the DM, like the support bot, is there for people to use if they have questions about literally anything. Like if you have a problem with another player, if you're curious about how something works, like the bot is kind of there specifically to take some of the work off of staff. And kind of stack up questions, and like eventually you'll get a response. I think so. At least if it's wild related. I'm not necessarily sure on the any questions part. This kind of seemed to be how it was pushed to me, but some people just riding in here. Oh, okay. So that one was a 1-star, but I actually got full value for it. I don't know if I've seen these people before. Hello, my friends.
Howdy.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that you'll find much good today.
Is that you, Rio?
No, it is not Rio. I do know Rio, however.
Ah, mustache confused me.
Yes, Rio favors sombreros, however.
Makes sense.
Yes, I'm not sure that there's much good lately, unfortunately.
No, that's how I've been feeling. It's been about 2 weeks since I've seen some boom juice.
Yes, and those get picked over very quickly.
Yeah, they do. It's starting to get annoying.
Well, best of luck in finding one.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Stay safe.
You as well.
Take care.
Yeah, I mean, one of the nice things is that you can just kind of sit and, like, think about it for a while. Like, you don't have to do it all in, like, a half hour and turn it all in. So it's not really a test. That one was tough. I was like, I want to be able to just see a bunch of stuff and show and, like, have experiences. But having to tell people about them rather than showing them or taking them with you would be interesting. I don't know. I just kind of treated it like a character exercise to a degree. Will there be a panther here? Let us find out. No panther. Okay. We're going to McFarland and shoot the cougar. Yeah. Some of the earlier ones you could definitely find out. There was one that I stumbled over on the application and then found later the actual rule for it. And I was like, if there's something I get denied on, I know it's probably that. Because I could not find the rule for one particular thing. And then I discovered there's 2 sets of rules for Wild. One of them is shorter than the other, and the longer one has a bunch of extra stuff that they just kind of... let me look, and I will tell you. I can pull up the WildRP. Let's see, the application. Never been banned, blah, blah, blah. Describe the character, duck your head, bartending. Yes. So, mine was on when is it acceptable to break character. Yeah. When is it acceptable to break character? That was a fun one. Yeah. Never. I was like, my response was pretty much, maybe in the off chance that somebody is like in danger. And then I heard, yeah, that's, nope. Even then, just message the support bot about it. Metagaming is particular too. And then, do you happen to know how many people are allowed in an armed group at one time during a firefight? Yeah. 6, but law has to match. I did not know about the Guarma rule, actually. But I've never been to Guarma. Oh man, there's no cougar. Where's the cougar? And then when are you allowed to remove the train driver? That's a fun one. Yep. Never unless you're in transit. Yes. Those are fun ones. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it sounds to me like you do know this stuff. Do you? It's probably just like making sure that the stuff that you've actually put in is somewhat better quality. Which I think now that you sort of know where the weak spot is, you'd be fine. Like tighten up your media. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if anybody that's ever like straight past the. Well, I should say. Yeah, how good a character is. Yeah, for sure. I think just knowing. I mean, knowing like your character's motivations and what they would do in a certain circumstance, and if you can play in certain things like that are definitely rules of Wild. Like I never cited it, but they were like, you know, hey, these things about a character, what would you do? And where there's a gunfight going off. My first character had been deputized at some point in the past, and got injured for it, and basically had an injury in one arm where he was no longer able to hold a firearm steady in that hand, and it would shake. So I already knew I'm not going to carry handguns with this character, but sort of was able to wrap into multiple answers. Like, I would panic for a second because I think I'm supposed to run towards the gunfight because I used to be law, but I'm not law anymore. So instead, I'm just going to encourage people to run and kind of try to get out of danger, more or less. But yeah, I never got feedback on the actual application. as to like what was a good thing that I included, what was a bad, like what didn't go well. They were just like, oh yeah, you're allowed listed. Which is both helpful and not super helpful. But yeah. I mean, I think you just like do it and try to tighten up what you think is wrong, what you think you got wrong before, and just keep at it, because eventually you'll get it, I think. And they pass like 3 people a week. Wacky creativity-based character for application fly with a character Nikolai Koslov. Friendly character like aggressive entrepreneur on the stage. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I was like, if I miss mine, I'm just gonna sit around and do something, because I don't know what I would possibly do waiting for it. Like I said, I watched a lot of other people playing Scarlet, Bud, Tommy Middleditch, and like I watch some people now simply because I know them through the community a little bit. But yeah, there's just an aspect of like, I wish, you just wish you could be playing rather than watching somebody else play. For sure. And Wild seems to be the better option. But I don't know. I don't know any of the other servers out there. I just know that Wild seems to be the one that is represented pretty well on Twitch. So, I don't know. The folks connected with it all seem really, really nice, and would love to answer questions and stuff until May 19th. Oh, so you just did it. Okay. I gotcha. Well, I mean, polishing of the media video of like, oh, here's me role playing or doing a voice or whatever, is definitely not a bad move. I submitted like 3 or 4 pieces of thing. Yeah, well, the people on it definitely know certain rules and definitely abide by certain things. Somebody's pulled a wagon out. Oh, it's the woman. Okay. I thought maybe it was Quentin. Oh, I need to go to Rhodes, because I have this other... I have a Schofield in my... I have a Schofield that I need to actually customize. Unless Armadillo might actually have a gunsmith that I can go deal with. Yeah, the people in here are great. That's the big thing I've found. Yeah. Yeah, because you can really only do so much with yourself. My whole thing has more recently has just been try to yes and everything you can. So if you look back through my VODs, there's probably like 20 hours now of 20 out of the like however many I've done where it's just somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna go do this, come with me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And then that turns into a whole other thing. I feel like it's very easy to just kind of shut people down at times, which is not great in terms of RP, but it's hard to do things if you're... It's hard to, like, tell stories if you're not willing to have people to tell them with you. And a lot of my whole purpose, and at least one other person I've run into, like, his whole purpose, too, this is Rexy, R-E-K-K-S-I-I, who plays Cecil Younger, who used to be part of the Jack Doherty gang, but Jack obviously has died. A lot of our whole purpose is just we want to help people tell stories. So you almost need to come in. I wasn't expecting it either, but I think that the player like wanted to have it happen. Which, I mean, all injuries and deaths are on the player rather than, like, you can't have anything ever forced on you. But there was, I sort of felt maybe it was coming. Especially once I heard that he'd, like, given certain things to certain people. There was just an aspect of like, oh yeah, totally. Okay, he knew what was happening, I guess. I'm not sure anybody really knew it was coming when it did happen. But Cecil's player and I both sort of, what we want to do is help other people tell stories. So there's very much an aspect of just like, yeah, I'll go do the weird thing with you. I think there are some people who come in with stories they want to tell. And from sort of Wild's perspective, I think it's easier to actually just come in and be like, I'm gonna see what happens and kind of react to it and help people in that way. Which I think is the sign of a good character, where it's like, let me basically like hand other people things that they can run with and use to tell their stories. Because not everybody needs to be the main character. There are a number of main characters, but like a main character's story is made stronger by the deputy that wants to arrest him, and yeah, base plot and a start goal. Yeah, I don't even think I did that really. Like obviously you can plan a backstory all day, but as soon as you jump into the world, at least in Wild, it's like, hey, what do you want to do? I've had 2 interactions with bastard characters, the group that hang out at Thief's Landing, on both of my characters, and each interaction it kind of rolled the same. Like they had a little bit of a script where it's like, hey, come to Thieves, we'll give you work if that's the type of work you're looking for. But I had one character who definitely was interested in that type of work, and one character who absolutely was not. Let's prevent you from reacting. Yeah, 100%. But also, like, tie some piece of yourself in there so that your knee-jerk reaction can sometimes be the character's reaction. That feels kind of good to me. There's bits and pieces of Abdul and Robert that are a little bit connected to me, so that my reaction just is relatively natural. Who is this? Nope. It looks like Pavel, but it's not Pavel. Kindly deliver to raw amulet. I want to learn mining. I need to learn mining. Desert iguanas to Blackwater. Nah. Sure. Billy the Kid and Wallaby. It's a strict Catholic. He doesn't know. That's a funny spin on it for sure. Have you thought about applying with that character, since it's a character that you sort of already have? And kind of know how he would be? Yeah, that's fair. Not wanting to attach yourself. I need 300 from the bank, I think. Oh no, I'll be fine with 2. Yes and no. What's fun is the only name on there I know is Wallaby, and I've never met Wallaby. I just know Wallaby through Bud talking about him on stream sometimes. Benji sounds familiar too. But I don't know any of those others. But I mean, I'm basically just playing a character who's here. So. Oh, cool. Very cool. Oh, there's not a gunsmith here. Just a shop. Shoot. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Fail. Maybe we actually go to Valentine. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean I feel like it would most help you to go in with a sort of a mentality of like, I'm gonna do a civilian character that could pass fairly easily. We're gonna go here. Rather than like a law character, or even like deliberately an outlaw character. I think that's part of it, is like, come in with a character that is pretty flat, that you can kind of learn how things go and you can wind up doing things rather than with particular motives. Like, I like the idea of the stagecoach thing, but getting a stagecoach is like $6,000. Or more. I don't even really fully know. Wagons are expensive. That's what I know. He's not a bad character. Like, I love the shawarma idea. And there's a number of different restaurants and stuff where you could literally just like set up shop and like get to know people and so forth. Because you sort of do know people, but at the same time, like, interacting with them through their Twitch chat is maybe a little different than actually role-playing with them. Not saying that's the only way you know people. Just as an observation. Like, I got really excited to potentially improv. No? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You think? Maybe so. Yeah, that's definitely true. Come up, yeah, yeah. Right, because yeah. I mean, Irish Catholics do curse. Irish Protestants maybe curse a little less. I almost definitely hit that fence post again. I'm really bad at that. Especially if you're an outlaw, you might be more used to it. Yeah, fair. Over 18 though, I hope. That's one of the WildRP rules that's pretty specific. We're gonna take that just in case. I don't think I need it. No children anywhere. You can have them, but they are not here. The character that I actually applied with is the one that I first made, and he was in his 40s and had actually lost. Like, he came in with a lot of grief behind him. Yeah, we'll just go. Where, like, part of his whole thing always was like, yeah, my wife used to be into this. She was a nurse. Or, yep, she used to do all this stuff. Just kind of building in history is helpful sometimes. Which is fun then, because then with Abdul, I've like made decisions myself that are based on other things, or based on myself. I had a good friend growing up whose mother would get really, really bad migraines, and her eyes would change. One of her eyes would change colors. So I was like, yeah, Abdul's mom has 2 differently colored eyes. And then somebody asked him something that most people wouldn't know, and I was like, well, let me drag in one of the old injuries that I actually suffered. Abdul fell off of a stool as a kid making cookies, which is a true thing that happened to me. I hyperextended my left arm when I was either 9 or 11, somewhere in there. And it's just like a weird fact where you're like, why would you ever think about that? Which just makes it that much more interesting to kind of pull out and assign to the character. I've never stopped at Manzanita. I'm gonna stop and actually see whether there's anything in here. Because I know they've done a fair amount of modification just in terms of like being able to go in places. And there's always like 2 horses sitting there with saddles. Watch it be a ranger station. Oh, that door's locked still. What about this one? I mean, you can see in that window, unlike those. Watch this low dollar soon. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think there's anything in here. We're gonna look. Hello? Yeah. Ooh, cans. So cans are nice and handy because I can use that for just knowing that is handy for like dynamite down the road. I suppose, but I mean, what if you do go bold and they like it? And not going bold would get you try again in 30 days anyway. I'm not entirely convinced that your character was the problem. It sounded to me like just you're not really having an actual, like a good, well-defined, here's a broad spectrum of stuff that I can do and I can show you. Because my interjection was I had 3 or 4. So I come from a weird spot because I work with a nonprofit called Victims and Villains that does a lot of podcasting. So that's the reason I have the good microphone that I do. I bought it to be able to make sure I had a good quality thing for interacting with people and in recorded mediums. So I already had that one figured out. But we've done a couple of really performances of a play based on emotions by one of our past writers. Wolves, yay! Just go, it's fine. We're already going that way. They will not catch us. But we have those recorded and in a couple different formats. And I've played 2 or 3 different two different characters. Because the first time we did it, I played sort of a tertiary character who wasn't super important, but I got to invent stuff about him. And then the second time and the third, I think we've only done it twice. The guy that played the main character in the first one was unavailable, so they shoved it on me because they liked how I'd done it in the first one. And then I play role-playing games on the side. So we've done streams with the nonprofit as sort of a fundraiser. Oh, come on. Why are there just wolves everywhere? Ooh, what were those? No, I can't see them. Great. And on at least one of those I played. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I would try it. The worst they can say is no. And they could say yes. And if the problem was the wacky character and you get a better one, great. But yeah, definitely polish up your submission thing too. Because some of it may just be that they don't have a good idea of how good of a role player you could be. And honestly, I think maybe that's more of what it is. Though I don't know. I'm not familiar with the microphone that you mentioned. I mean, I think you could. I don't know why you couldn't reuse the character. Why are there wolves everywhere? Oh, come on. Yeah, that's fair. Man. Now we lie here because we can't do anything. That's upsetting. 3 different times I went around wolves, and the third time I was like, nope, you went the wrong way. I wonder if I can even figure out where it was that I... As I was going to Valentine. I had crossed the river. I don't feel like I'm that far from things, but sheesh. Here's the weirdest part though. They're just looking at me. Hi, you could find something else and try to play that in the meantime. Oh, there's 4 here. Wow. Oh, don't leave. Yeah. That's... Yup. Yup. We're like, well, that's the only thing I want now. We got a minute and a half until we can tell Dante and whoever else that I am here. This is the boring part, especially because of where I died. We're like right off the road, and there's really not a good way for people to find me here, probably, except for the fact that I'm just like propped up against this rock wall. Oh man, they tried and then just gave up. That's crazy. Why would you do that? Like, I don't know. People are weird sometimes. This is Wolf just shaking himself. Oh, now he actually looks like he's chewing. Weird. If I really wanted to, I could relog and it would probably kick them. Okay, so this is now where we go, all right, what storyline do we want to tell with this? Yeah, we're going to relog it. And then come back in with it, because what it'll do is it'll flush the wolves. Because the story that I'm going to basically tell is like, I got thrown from the horse off the road. And the wolves kept chasing him. Or chasing the horse. Of course, now I'm not leaning up against that wall quite as well. I wonder how many people are even on. At 90. So there's at least one set of rangers around before. This is the piece that I don't really like about Wild, though, is like how annoying it can be playing solo if you go down somewhere and then you're just there for a while. Because you can't meta tell anybody. Oh, they all do it this way? I mean, I don't like the Red Dead Online version. But I wish there was like a specific way that you could kind of give a little bit more of an accurate where you are. Oh, that's interesting. Because there's just nothing. You just can't do anything right here. Dude, that'd be cool. Retired boxer would be great. An older character with history who's like decided to go west is fantastic. Especially because with the way medical RP works, there's probably random things they'd be able to actually fix. But I don't know. John L. Sullivan. Let's find out. I mean, I'm fairly certain they don't want you to just straight up do a real person. But you could definitely be somebody who maybe fought Sullivan. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do that too. That could work. Mm-hmm. Because then you can pull from somebody that actually did exist in history and kind of like, oh yeah, I'm definitely here. We are gonna go ahead and cry for help again. It's basically what that tells people is we had a weird log out situation potentially. But yeah. Have a good one. I'm actually probably going to stop streaming until I get found again anyway. Just because I feel like this is boring for people and I don't want to go through and clip out however long could be. Really nice chatting with you too, man. Thanks for some of the insights for sure. And hopefully I do see you around. I'm going to go offline with the stream for now. I may pop back on once I do get found. But I'm not going to subject anybody to that in the meantime. Because I'm just sitting here. So there's no reason anybody else needs to either. Have a good rest of your day if you don't see me again. Farewell, friends.